comes a moment in every person's life when staying the same becomes more painful than changing. Deep within you, there's a voice whispering, "You were made for more." That voice is your soul calling you higher, asking you to rise beyond fear, beyond comfort, beyond the limits that once defined you. Today, I want you to say yes. Yes to your growth, yes to your power, and yes to the next level of your life. You are ready. Even if you don't feel like it, even if your mind tries to convince you that you need more time, more experience, more proof. The truth is, life would not be calling you forward if you weren't prepared for what comes next. Every challenge you've faced, every heartbreak you've survived, every lesson you've learned has been quietly shaping you into the person who can handle the next chapter of your journey. You may not see it yet, but there is strength within you that has been patiently waiting to be discovered. When you begin to believe that you are ready, something inside you shifts. You stop waiting for external validation and start trusting the quiet wisdom within your soul. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start affirming, "What if this works out beautifully?" You realize that readiness is not about perfection, it's about willingness. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold. All you need is faith in your ability to grow, adapt, and learn along the way. Think about how a seed never questions whether it's ready to become a tree. It simply allows itself to grow when the season arrives. In the same way, you are in your season now. Life is asking you to expand beyond your limits, to step into a higher version of yourself, and to trust that everything you need will appear as you move forward. The universe never gives you an opportunity that your soul is not prepared to handle. If it has shown up in your life, it's because you are ready to rise to meet it. Sometimes fear disguises itself as logic. It tells you that you're not prepared, that you should wait until things feel safer. But safety often keeps us small. Growth requires courage. It asks you to take the first step before you can see the full staircase. When you say, "I am ready," even if your voice trembles, you declare your faith in something greater than fear. You affirm that you trust yourself, and that trust opens doors that hesitation could never open. You have already proven your resilience so many times. Remember those moments when you thought you couldn't make it, yet somehow you did. Remember when you were afraid to begin something new, but it turned out to be one of the best decisions of your life. Every one of those moments was preparing you for now. You are stronger than you realize. You have more wisdom than you give yourself credit for. The experiences that once broke you were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to polish you into the powerful being you are today. Believing that you are ready means saying yes to life. It means trusting that even if you stumble, you will find your balance again. It means knowing that you don't need to have everything figured out before taking the leap. Each step you take will reveal the next one. Life supports those who dare to move forward with faith. The moment you decide that you are ready, the universe rearranges itself to meet your decision. People, opportunities, and synchronicities begin to appear as if by magic. But it's not magic. It's alignment. So take a deep breath. Let go of the old doubts that once held you back. You have everything within you to handle what comes next. You are not behind, and you have not missed your chance. The right time is now, and you are more than ready. Begin with confidence. Move with love. Walk forward knowing that every step is guided, every action supported, and every dream possible. You are ready. and the world has been waiting for you to realize it. Letting go of the old story is one of the most powerful acts of self-liberation you will ever experience. For too long, you may have carried the weight of your past, the disappointments, the regrets, the pain, the betrayals. You may have repeated the same story to yourself over and over again, not realizing that every time you tell it, you keep yourself tied to the very pain you long to escape. The truth is, you cannot step into the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. The past is meant to teach you, not define you. It served its purpose, and now it's time to release it with love. Your old story might sound like this: I was hurt, I was rejected, things never work out for me, I'm not enough. But these are not facts, they are beliefs born from moments when you didn't yet know your power. When you tell yourself the same painful narrative, you give those moments permission to live in your present. You relive the emotions, you repeat the patterns, and you attract similar experiences because the energy of your old story becomes the vibration you send out into the world. To change your life, you must change your story. Letting go does not mean pretending the past never happened. It means seeing it differently. It means honoring what you went through and acknowledging the strength it gave you. Every person who left, every door that closed, every situation that broke your heart, it was shaping you, refining you, preparing you for something greater. When you hold onto resentment or sadness, you block the flow of new blessings. But when you forgive and release, you make room for miracles. You create space for the new you to emerge, a you that is not defined by pain, but by possibility. You may not realize how much energy the old story consumes. It can drain your joy, your creativity, and your faith in the future. Every time you replay an old wound in your mind, your body reacts as if it's happening again. The tension, the fear, the sadness, it all returns. But you are not meant to live in emotional repetition. You are meant to evolve. You are meant to wake up and decide, I am not that person anymore. The moment you stop identifying with the pain, you reclaim your power. You begin to tell a new story, one that speaks of healing, resilience, and rebirth. Forgiveness is the bridge that leads you out of the past. It does not excuse what happened. It simply frees you from being chained to it. Forgive yourself for not knowing better, for staying too long, for allowing what hurt you. Forgive others not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Every time you choose forgiveness, you lighten the load your soul carries. You create emotional space for love, abundance, and joy to flow back in. The old story may have become part of your identity, but you are not your wounds. You are the wisdom that grew from them. You are not your heartbreak. You are the love that still lives inside you despite it. You are not your failures. You are the courage that kept trying. You are not your mistakes. You are the lessons that made you wiser. When you see your past this way, it loses its power to define your present. So today, gently release the story that no longer serves you. Speak new words over your life. Replace I was broken with I am healing. Not enough with I am more than enough. Replace I was abandoned with I am deeply loved. Every new thought rewrites your story. Every new belief reprograms your future. Let go with gratitude. Thank your past for everything it taught you, and then lovingly close that chapter. You are not meant to live there anymore. The next level of your life is waiting, and it begins the moment you decide to stop looking back. Stepping out of your comfort zone is not just about doing something new. It's about awakening a part of yourself that has been asleep for too long. The comfort zone feels safe because it's familiar. You know what to expect, and that gives you the illusion of control. But safety can quietly become a cage. The longer you stay where everything feels easy and predictable, the more you limit the incredible growth that life wants to give you. True transformation never happens in comfort. It happens in courage. There is a quiet voice inside you that keeps whispering, "There's more for you." You've felt it when you dream bigger than your circumstances. You've heard it when an opportunity shows up, but fear tries to talk you out of it. That voice is your soul inviting you to rise. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the discomfort of change. The moment you say yes, even with shaky hands and a trembling heart, you begin to step into your true power. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't always mean making massive leaps. Sometimes it's as simple as saying no when you used to say yes, speaking your truth when you used to stay silent, or believing in yourself when you used to doubt. Each small act of courage expands your energy field. It signals to the universe that you're ready for more. Growth happens in layers, not all at once. Each time you move beyond fear, you strengthen your faith in yourself. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. Fear is not a stop sign. It's an invitation to expand. It shows up whenever you're standing on the edge of something meaningful. Instead of running from it, breathe through it. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're doing something that matters. Growth is not supposed to feel comfortable. It's supposed to feel awakening. Every great thing you've ever admired in others came from someone who once stood exactly where you are now, uncertain, nervous, but willing to try. The comfort zone keeps you repeating the same patterns, living the same days, thinking the same thoughts. It tells you that staying safe means staying still. But stillness without purpose leads to stagnation. You deserve more than to live on repeat. You deserve to see what you're truly capable of. The life you want, the confidence, the opportunities, the abundance exists just outside your comfort zone. Every step you take into the unknown stretches your mind, your spirit, and your belief in what's possible. Think about every time you overcame something you once thought you couldn't. At first, it probably felt terrifying, but afterward, it felt empowering. You discovered strength you didn't know you had. That's what happens when you leave your comfort zone. You meet the version of yourself who is bolder, wiser, and more resilient. That version of you is waiting, but you must be willing to take the first step. The bridge to your dreams is built through courage, not certainty. The universe always rewards movement. When you take inspired action, even if it's small, new energy begins to flow into your life. People show up to help you. Opportunities align. Doors you never imagined begin to open. But none of that happens while you're standing still, waiting to feel ready. You become ready by moving. You find your wings by leaping. You learn that fear was never there to stop you. It was there to teach you how strong you really are. So take a deep breath and trust yourself. Step out of the comfort of what is known and walk boldly toward the unknown. Say yes to the risks, the challenges, the possibilities. The discomfort will fade, but the growth will last forever. Life will always meet you at the level of your courage. And the moment you step beyond your fear, you'll realize that the world outside your comfort zone was never as scary as you imagined. It was simply waiting for you to show up. Your mind is a powerful instrument, and the thoughts you allow to live there shape the entire landscape of your life. Every belief, every emotion, every action begins with a single thought. Most people underestimate the power of their own thinking, not realizing that what they repeatedly say to themselves becomes their reality. Your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner dialogue. If you want to change your life, you must begin by reprogramming your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. For years, you may have been repeating negative ideas without realizing it. You might tell yourself, "I'm not good enough. I always fail. Nothing ever works out for me." These words create mental patterns that act like invisible walls, keeping you trapped in the same experiences. But here's the truth: you were not born with these beliefs. They were learned, absorbed from the voices of others, and repeated until your subconscious accepted them as truth. The good news is, anything learned can be unlearned. The moment you choose to think differently, your mind begins to shift. Reprogramming your mind starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that flow through your mind each day. Notice how they make you feel. When a thought causes fear, doubt, or sadness, it's a signal, not to believe it, but to heal it. You can pause and gently replace it with a higher, kinder truth. If your mind says, "I can't do this," respond with, "I am capable and learning every day." If it says, "I'm not enough," affirm, "I am complete and worthy as I am." Each time you do this, you are rewriting the code of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant will grow. If you plant thoughts of love, abundance, and confidence, those will flourish. If you plant fear and doubt, they will take root just as easily. The universe does not judge the thoughts you choose. It simply reflects them back to you in the form of experiences. That's why it's so important to guard your mental garden with care. Speak words that uplift you. Think thoughts that nourish your spirit. Surround yourself with energy that reinforces your vision, not your fears. Affirmations are one of the simplest and most effective ways to reprogram your mind. When you repeat positive statements, you are training your subconscious to accept a new reality. But remember, it's not just about the words. It's about the feeling behind them. When you say, "I am worthy of love," feel the warmth of that truth in your heart. When you affirm, "I am attracting abundance," imagine what that abundance feels like in your life. Emotion gives energy to thought. It's what turns repetition into transformation. The process takes patience. You've spent years thinking in certain ways, so the old patterns may try to resist at first, but consistency always wins. Over time, the negative voices grow quieter, and your mind begins to naturally choose peace, confidence, and gratitude. One day, you'll notice that what used to trigger fear no longer has power over you. You'll look around and realize that your outer world has changed, not by chance, but because you changed within. You are the artist of your own consciousness. You get to decide which thoughts stay and which ones go. Don't wait for life to give you reasons to be positive. Create them with your focus and intention. Begin your mornings with gratitude. End your nights with affirmations of peace. Trust that every positive thought is building a foundation for a better reality. Your mind listens to every word you speak. Speak to it with love. Train it to see possibility instead of limitation. Think thoughts that honor your worth and your potential. The more you fill your mind with positivity, the more you align with the limitless power of creation itself. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are their master. And once you realize that truth, you can design a life that feels as good as it looks. The energy that surrounds you plays a powerful role in shaping who you become. Every environment you enter, every person you allow into your space, and every word you listen to either nourishes your spirit or drains it. You are constantly absorbing the vibration of your surroundings, whether you realize it or not. This is why it is so important to be mindful of the energy you invite into your life. To grow, you must surround yourself with people, environments, and experiences that encourage expansion, not limitation. When you are surrounded by growth energy, you feel inspired, uplifted, and supported. Conversations feel empowering rather than exhausting. You leave interactions with a sense of purpose rather than confusion or doubt. Growth energy is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about being around those who remind you of your potential instead of your mistakes, those who challenge you to evolve instead of keeping you stuck in old patterns. When you spend time with people who are growing, their energy naturally activates the same within you. Look at your current circle. How do you feel after spending time with the people closest to you? Do they add to your light or dim it? Sometimes, out of loyalty or habit, we keep ourselves surrounded by negativity because we fear being alone. But solitude is far more peaceful than being in the company of energy that stunts your growth. The truth is, when you start raising your vibration, thinking differently, speaking more positively, focusing on healing, not everyone will understand. That's okay. Your journey isn't meant to please others, it's meant to align you with who you are becoming. Energy is contagious. When you spend time around people who complain constantly, your spirit begins to absorb that frequency. When you listen to gossip or feed into drama, you lower your vibration without realizing it. But when you surround yourself with love, creativity, gratitude, and ambition, you naturally begin to vibrate at a higher frequency. This higher vibration attracts peace, abundance, and clarity into your life. The universe responds to your energy, not your words, not your wishes, but the frequency you consistently live in. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Set boundaries that preserve your peace. You don't need to explain or justify your desire for growth. If something or someone feels heavy, it's a sign that it's time to release or limit your exposure. You cannot heal in the same environment that hurt you, and you cannot expand in spaces that thrive on limitation. It takes courage to walk away from what is familiar but toxic. Yet every time you do, you reclaim more of your personal power. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, not problems. People who see possibilities, not obstacles. People who celebrate your progress, even when it's small. Read books that inspire your spirit. Listen to voices that encourage belief in yourself. Fill your home with light, peace, and music that calms your soul. Create rituals that nurture your growth. Journaling, meditating, walking in nature, or simply spending quiet moments in reflection. These habits feed your spirit and raise your vibration naturally. The more you align yourself with growth energy, the more easily life begins to flow. You attract synchronicities, opportunities, and experiences that match your new frequency. You find yourself feeling more confident, more peaceful, and more connected to your purpose. Growth energy doesn't just change your mood, it transforms your reality. So choose your energy with intention. Be deliberate about who and what you allow into your sacred space. You are not being selfish by protecting your peace. You are being wise. You are cultivating an environment where your soul can thrive. When you honor your energy, you honor your potential. And when your energy grows, everything in your life begins to grow with it. Taking inspired action every day is how you turn dreams into reality. It is the bridge between imagination and manifestation, between wishing and becoming. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment to start. When they feel ready, when everything is certain, when the fear is gone. But perfection never arrives. Life rewards movement, not hesitation. The moment you take even the smallest step toward what you desire, the universe begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Inspired action is different from forced action. It doesn't come from anxiety, pressure, or desperation. It comes from alignment, from that inner spark that says, "This feels right. This is what I'm meant to do." When your heart and your actions move in the same direction, you activate powerful energy. You begin to work with the universe, not against it. Each inspired step carries more momentum than 1,000 steps taken in fear. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what feels true. Many people confuse waiting with preparation. They spend years overthinking, analyzing, and doubting, hoping that one day they'll suddenly feel brave enough to begin. But courage isn't something that appears before you act. It's something that grows because you act. When you take that first uncertain step, even while afraid, you tell the universe, "I am ready to receive." And the universe responds with guidance, opportunities, and synchronicities that you couldn't have planned yourself. The path reveals itself as you walk it. Action doesn't need to be grand or dramatic to be meaningful. Some of the most powerful progress happens quietly. Sending that email, making that phone call, writing that first paragraph, taking that first walk toward health, saying that first affirmation with belief. These small, consistent actions build unstoppable momentum. Each time you show up for your vision, you strengthen the belief that you are capable. Over time, that belief becomes unshakable faith. It's also important to remember that inspired action is not about control. You don't need to force outcomes or chase what isn't meant for you. When an action feels heavy or filled with resistance, pause and reconnect with your inner guidance. Ask yourself, is this driven by love or fear? Love-inspired action feels expansive, light, and purposeful. Fear-driven action feels draining and forced. Learn to listen to your energy. It always knows the truth. Consistency is key. Doing something once with enthusiasm is easy, but doing it every day with devotion transforms you. Daily inspired action trains your mind to focus, your heart to trust, and your body to move in harmony with your dreams. It sends a clear message to life itself. I am serious about my growth. And when you live with that intention, miracles start to meet you halfway. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when progress seems invisible, or when doubts whisper that it's not working. Those are the days that matter most. Inspired action doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. Even if you can only take one small step, take it. The energy of movement keeps you aligned. Remember, a river doesn't rush, yet it carves through mountains. Not through force, but through steady flow. Taking inspired action every day is a form of faith in motion. It says to the universe, I trust that my effort will be rewarded. It's how dreams stop being ideas and start becoming experiences. You don't have to know exactly where the road leads. You just have to take the next step. The magic unfolds in the journey, not the destination. So start today. Don't wait for confidence to arrive. Don't wait for signs to be perfect. Begin with what you have, where you are, and let your heart lead the way. The universe moves for those who move. Every act of faith, every moment of effort, every choice to show up becomes a spark that lights the path forward. Your next level of life is waiting for action. Not tomorrow, but today.